The Paraguayan Civil War took place between the 27th of May 1922 and the 10th of July 1923, within the borders of Paraguay. It started when supporters of candidate Adolfo Chirife attempted to forcefully restore the implementation of presidential elections cancelled by President Eusebio Ayala.Chirife represented the so-called Constitutionalist Schaererist side, ideologically supporting liberal politician Eduardo Schaerer, while troops under Ayala were named Loyalists and Gondrists, ideologically pledging allegiance to former President Manuel Gondra. The conflict concluded when Gondrist forces defeated the remnants of the Schaererist army in Asunción. Background: in the aftermath of the 1904 revolution, the Paraguayan liberal movement entered a period of instability and factional fighting. Between 1904 and 1922, 15 Paraguayan presidents assumed office. The coups of 1908 and 1910 cemented the division of Paraguayan liberals into the radicales and cívicos factions. A further split of the radicales faction into two sub-factions led by Manuel Gondra and Eduardo Schaerer respectively, gradually escalated into a full-scale civil war. In 1920, Gondra came out victorious in the presidential election. Schaerer immediately attempted to undermine Gondra by forcing the resignation of Interior Minister José Guaguiari, Gondra's most vocal supporter. After Gondra's refusal to dismiss Guaguiari, Gondra himself resigned due to the emergence of a split in Paraguay's armed forces. After Vice President Félix Paiva's refusal to assume office, the Congress placed Senator Eusebio Ayala, a moderate Gondra supporter, into interim presidency. Another crisis ensued when Adolfo Chirife, who was a supporter of Schaerer, became a presidential candidate, amassing the support of the Colorado Party along with a large percentage of supporters in the Liberal Party. Chirife gathered enough support to ensure a victory in the upcoming elections. When Ayala reacted by blocking implementation of the elections, Schaerer's supporters attempted to restore the electoral process by force. Conflict. Troops belonging to the 1st, 2nd and 4th military zones totaling 1,700 men, united under the name of the Constitutional Army, declaring its loyalty to Schaerer. Opposing them, Loyalist elements of the Paraguayan Navy and the wider Asunción area garrisons pledged allegiance to Gondra. On the 27th of May 1922, following the failure of 2 weeks of negotiations between the two sides, Adolfo Chirife ordered his military and civilian supporters in Paraguay to launch an offensive on the capital, thus beginning a civil war. Passing through Luque, the Constitutionalists reached Asunción on June 9. By this time the Gondrists had mustered 600 regular soldiers as well as 1,000 members of the anarcho-syndicalist Marine Workers' Union. Despite enjoying limited success, the Schaererists were forced to abandon the siege of the barricaded suburbs, and on June 14, battles took place in Paraguay and Yagaran as the Schaererists retreated to Paraguay. Between 28 and 29 June 1922, a Loyalist Armstrong Whitworth K.8 conducted 2 raids on Paraguay, first dropping pamphlets and then bombing the city. On the 3rd of July, the same K.8 mistakenly bombed train wagons housing imprisoned soldiers who refused to join the Constitutionalist army. Numerous prisoners were killed or injured in the action. On 8 July 1922, the K.8 was shot down over Paraguay, and British pilot Sidney Stewart was killed. In the aftermath of the July 14 loss of Paraguay and Yagaran, Schaererists began evacuating the troops from Paraguay to Villarica. Between 23 and 24 July, Loyalists overran Constitutionalist positions in Ibatimi and Sapulpa. Fucai. The Gondristas continued their advance, taking Atape and Salita-Cue, and finally entering Villarica without firing a single shot on July 31. The town of San Estanislao changed hands several times as opposing cavalry skirmished in the area during early August. The Gondrist Air Force relocated to Villarica, reinforced with several Italian World War I veterans including Ace Cosimo Damiano Rosato. It intensified its reconnaissance and bombing missions. On the 5th of September, a Constitutionalist Ansaldo SVA 5 bombed Salita-Cue. A Gondrista aircraft of the same model then took off, firing at the bomber that retreated to Cango, in an engagement that is considered to be the first recorded dogfight in South America. Fighting continued through late October and early November, as Isla Alta and Cango fell under Gondrist control. Schaererists entrenched themselves in the Calle Puente Coronel Bogado area 30 kilometers northwest of Encarnacion. On the 13th of November, a Loyalist detachment marched on Calle Puente, while a second column perpetrated a surprise attack on the Constitutionalist rearguard, capturing Carmen del Parana. 3 days later, Gondrists took the Schaererist stronghold of Calle Puente, but many Constitutionalists managed to escape detention, reorganizing and moving north towards the unprotected capital. Utilizing rail transport, the Gondrists halted the Schaererist advance, and after heavy fighting in Paraguay, Piribi and Yhu, the defeated Gondrists fell back beyond Carrilao. On the 18th of March 1923, the Schaererists mounted the first attack in 3 months, seizing the underprotected Villarica. The Constitutionalists then ambushed a 20-wagon supply convoy at Panati, killing almost 500 soldiers. On the 18th of May, after Schaerist Commander-in-Chief Adolfo Chirife died of pneumonia, newly elected Commander Pedro Mendoza initiated an offensive on Asunción, passing through the densely forested areas of Paraguay.It and San Lorenzo. Mendoza entered the capital on the 9th of July 1923 without encountering significant resistance. A day later, Loyalists counter-attacked the capital from the north, routing the Schaererists and effectively ending the war.